r/ask Reddit. What are the most boring mundane things that excite you? Sleeping on clean, fresh bed sheets. And then you shower before going to bed. Keep going, I'm almost to heaven. With freshly shaved legs. Lotioned. When I throw away the old kitchen sponge and take out a new one from the pack, it feels like you finally have the tools to clean your dishes the way they deserve to be cleaned, instead of being touched by that bacterial infestation waiting to happen that was the old sponge. Also, I really like chess. It bores most people to death, but to me it's just beautiful. Some of the classic matches throughout the ages are honestly a form of art. Tip to make your sponge supply last longer: cut them in half. A half-sized sponge will clean just as well as a full-size one, if not better, because you have a little more control and better grip from the smaller size, and your sponge package will last twice as long. Big Sponge would like to know your location. Rain. I love everything about a rainy day. The smell of the earth, the sound of the rainfall, the grayscale hue that encompasses everything. I even feel physically better due to the air pressure. Oftentimes my cat and I will sit on the deck and watch a rainstorm together. Then thunder strikes and she freaks the duck out, scrambles inside frantically while knocking over as much shit as possible. And don't forget how calming the sound of rain is for falling asleep. The sky. I always think the sky is beautiful. I could stare at it for hours. I live in the Netherlands where there's a lot of light pollution, so night skies are usually grey and dull. Last week I saw a beautiful mix of sunset, cloud formation, wavy blankets, and a night sky at the same time and just enjoyed the moment. I was wondering how many others were enjoying the view too. We have a similar issue here in Ireland, but we've had some beautiful night skies recently, particularly with Jupiter and Saturn in full view from outside our apartment. This is of course when it's not raining, which it almost always is. The feeling when you are reading a book in the evening and your eyes start to feel heavy and you can already tell it's gonna hella easy to drift off to sleep tonight and you are gonna get a full 8 hours. Then you put the book away and stare at the ceiling for an hour before getting that feeling again. The trick is to just keep reading and not put the book away. I leave it in bed with me. I have woken up laying on top of my book before, lost my page and or bookmark countless times, etc. But it's totally worth it. Honestly, I am not a tidy person in general, but organizing my house is amazing. Receiving packages and opening them. I wish there was a word for the feeling I feel when I see the UPS truck pull up at my house. If there is, I bet it's in German. I just like walking to places. This is my favorite way to spend a Saturday. Once, I jumped on the bus, intending to check out the gym by my university. Somehow I ended up on the other side of the river, found the best dog park ever, watched a public orchestra concert, and sat 4 hours in a park just watching everyone walk around. I never made it to the gym. I'm an accountant. Made a nice spreadsheet that was all linked, updated automatically with a macro. Does 6 hours of work a month in 10 minutes. It's a nice spreadsheet. I make my husband look at my spreadsheets. They are works of art. Color coded with perfect formulas that flow to other cells with even more formulas. A good spreadsheet build is almost as satisfying as a good roll in the hay. Both put me to sleep with a smile. Grocery shopping. It's like a mini vacation for me. I have never understood people who don't like grocery shopping. It's one of my favorite things to do. I pop in my headphones and listen to music or a podcast and just meander through every aisle in total satisfaction. Clothes shopping, however, is an actual hellscape and the total opposite of grocery shopping. Having worked in a supermarket for 10+ years, I just want to leave as soon as I enter. Fortunately, I'm a fast shopper since I know where everything is. Watching people. When I am waiting for the traffic signal to go green, I look around at the people and start imagining what their story might be. Like if I see an old lady crossing the road, and I would try to assume what she is doing. Maybe she is going to see her nephew, and his nephew is a carpenter. My husband and I do this on long drives. What's the deal with those people? Those are two brothers. One of them just got out of prison and they're on a mission from God to save an orphanage. The stars. Sometimes I get home late at night and just stand in my driveway staring at the stars. The universe is insane when you stop and think about it. There are nuclear furnaces millions of times bigger than Earth, billions and trillions of miles away, and you can see them. Finding change on the ground. Back in high school, I kept a cup in my locker for any coins I found around campus. When Friday morning rolled around, I almost always had enough loose change to buy a donut from the business student's donut stand. It sounds like you do not ever miss change. Drinking tea coffee from a new cup I bought, especially when the cup is small and cute. I recently got into coffee and got myself a double-walled mug. I don't make so much, so a little treat like that in the middle of a pandemic was something I looked forward to. After weeks I got my package. I was so excited. I used it and after a few hours, bumped it off the table. I was so angry and upset I couldn't speak for a few hours. I'm still salty about it, but I don't want to talk about it still. When I'm in a flight and looking out the window at night, seeing where all the lights are, especially when you can see a big city, something about seeing that from that view amazes me. Looking at city lights from a plane is something that will never get old for me. Being in a plane looking at the tops of clouds will never not amaze me. When dew rainwater is sliding down a glass window, I always imagine it to be a race. I choose to support one droplet and get mildly disappointed if it loses. I like watching the droplet engulf the other droplets. When I was a kid, I loved garbage. Not the trash under the sink. I'm talking big ducking dumpsters, garbage trucks. Anything that held massive amounts of trash was for me. I would get hyped on trash day, seeing the garbage truck roll down the street, looking on as a mountain of trash would get compacted into nothing. I lived for that. I knew the garbage men by name. I dressed up as a garbage man on Halloween for a couple of years. Just an unreal fascination with garbage. Used to watch documentaries about the dump. I even made my parents drive by the city dump so I could see Trash Mountain. When I was 7 I started liking soccer and became a normal child. Don't let the world change you. You can always be trash. Seeing snow. I live in a part of Australia that might see snow once a year, and while it only settles for an hour or so, it's so exciting when it happens. I also like heading to the ski resorts just to see snow. Seems so magical. That moment when you got rained on and you get home and get to take off all your wet clothes and put on dry, clean, comfortable pajamas. Debugging code and finally getting it right after hours of work. I feel this after staring at the same block of code for 30 minutes and seeing nothing wrong. Checking data, verifying parameters over and over, and then finally picking out that one thing that kept it from working. Nice little rush. Clouds. My kids think I'm crazy. Mom is going to say the sky looks ominous again. Whatever. Kids, the clouds are awesome. Saying ominous is awesome. So is driving in this weather is going to be harrowing. Top loading washing machine with a glass lid. I can watch a cycle all day long. Water comes up. It spins. Water goes down. It spins. Water comes back up again. It spins. Water goes back down. It spins. Even just reading your description of this was calming. I saw a Hawaii license plate on a Toyota a couple weeks ago. I was driving in my home state of New Jersey. I piss off my kids so much. Oh look, there's a Queensland number plate, what are they doing all the way down here? My kid. Size. I like to make up little stories about them in my head. Getting a new body wash is always neat. Never know how it'll make you feel. I love rainstorms. To the point where I get beachy if there isn't one for a few weeks. So just sitting and listening to storms is a long time favorite of mine. Ever since I was a baby apparently. For me it's trying a new toothpaste. I buy a different one every time and sometimes get so keen to try the new one I crack it open before I'm done with the last one. My favorites are when the paste isn't completely white, but has blue stripes in it. Good documentation. This isn't mundane, it's a ducking miracle. But in all seriousness, I completely agree. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.